My landlord asked if I was going home for Christmas, and I said I was. Christmas sucked, so I came back early and found my landlord and 3 of his buddies smoking cigarettes, drinking beer, and playing poker in my living room. That's illegal. Like, that's trespassing, no? Like, that's, I don't know. Yo, that'd be so sketch. That's a lawsuit right there. That'd be a lawsuit if it was me, that's for damn sure. At my first apartment, if I didn't answer the door, my landlord would knock on my bedroom window. If I still didn't answer, he'd open the window. They were really crappy old windows and shout into it. The fact that someone can open your window from outdoor, I'm concerned for you. I understand older buildings, older windows, but that's like a safety concern and your landlord should fix that. That's creepy. That's really creepy. I don't have to answer the door to anybody. That does not give you the right to come over to my bedroom window like a weirdo, knock on my door and open it and then shout inside. Bro, I hope you moved like real fast after that. Had a leak in the house that went unfixed for weeks. Then my ceiling sprouted black mold in a large patch 5 feet wide, and while standing under it, denied there was mold and refused to fix it or do anything about it. Ew. One of our previous landlords, when we told them about black mold on one of our spare rooms, they proceeded to sand it off, then paint over it and move somebody in the next week. FML. Black mold is not a joke, okay? That can make you very sick. It's not good for pets. It's just gross. It's not a good situation. Anyone who doesn't take black mold seriously, or mold in general, I don't trust those people. I do not trust those people. That's spooky. Blech. What's the word I'm thinking of? Asbestos? It's the asbestos in the mold that makes you very sick, right? I'll be very impressed with myself if that's true and that's a thing, because I'm not very bright and that's a big word for me. About a month into the COVID pandemic, our bathroom sink started flooding from the drain up. Apparently an emergency room nurse lived above us and was washing her uniforms in the sink when she got home, but the water was rushing down the drain to the clog and coming back up through our bathroom sink. This was really before anyone knew exactly how it spread. My roommate and I couldn't get in touch with our landlord or super for 3 days and had to stay up all night scooping COVID water out of our sink into the bathtub so our apartment wouldn't flood. You know what? I have a story like this. Last summer, during the pandemic as well, it was the middle of summer. It was like 100+ degrees Fahrenheit outside, so hot, and our air conditioning broke, okay? Our home was like 88 degrees Fahrenheit at one point, almost 90. I have a little 7-pound dog. Anyways, we could not get a hold of our landlord for days. We emailed, called, kept getting ignored, all of this. Luckily, I had to go and buy fans, and I used to sleep with, like, I had a cold washcloth on my head with a fan, and that's how I would sleep, and I would just sweat all the time. Yeah, terrible, terrible. I had to call the tenant board, and then once I told the landlord, I'm like, I contacted the tenant board, and this is gonna become a lawsuit if this isn't a thing. And they were like, oh my God, we're so sorry. We told our landlord that there were rats in the basement. Blech. And she told us we were being whiny girls about it, and she waited 2 weeks to call an exterminator. We ended up catching over a dozen, bleh, 2 of which were the size of kittens. When the rat babies took over the kitchen, our landlord told us to just eat in the places that don't have rat poop, which doesn't exist. People shouldn't be landlords. Like, some people shouldn't be, you know, like, or like you should be able to revoke them from owning property and renting out, because this is disgusting behavior. Almost as disgusting as the rats. No, the poop. I once had a landlord that ignored my maintenance requests all the time. Facts. One time the bathroom doorknob broke off while I was in the bathroom locking me in. Luckily I had my phone with me and was able to call my apartment's emergency maintenance line. No one answered for 2 hours, so I had to break down my door to get out. My landlord called back 12 hours later and asked if I was still locked in my bathroom. I was a single woman living alone at the time, and the experience was very traumatic. That would be very scary. I was just thinking about that in my head when I was reading it, like what I would do. You'd have to break down your door. That's the only way, because if your front door is locked, even if you called a friend or anything like that, like they wouldn't be able to get into your house to get to you. Yeah, spooky. The apartment my now husband and I were renting was upstairs in the house. The people that owned the house lived out of state, but their sons were living in it. We gave our rent money to the sons every month as requested by their parents. After about 2 years, we found out the house was in foreclosure because the sons were using our money to gamble instead of putting it towards the mortgage. We then only had a month to find a new place. Damn, that's crazy. And that is like such an unfortunate situation because you wouldn't have any idea and you would literally just be paying your rent, doing what their parents said. Like, you know, there'd be no way of telling that this is what would happen to your money. I had a bike that my landlord hated. No matter where I put it, he had a problem with it. He wanted it only in my apartment. One day I came home and it was gone, even though it was locked downstairs on the sidewalk with other bikes that did not live in this building. A few weeks later, he told me he took it to teach me a lesson. He literally cut the lock off of it and took it. That is stealing, sir. That is stealing, and guess what? You are not my father, you are not my mother. You don't have the right to teach me some kind of lesson. So up yours. That would be a very quick lawsuit. Well, I don't know why I'm acting like I just like have all this money to be like throwing lawsuits at people, but like I would somehow. I would. I walked in on my landlord rifling through my medicine cabinet for the Vicodin I was prescribed for my knee surgery. I guess I should have kept my mouth shut when she asked me if I was on pain meds the day before. Why was your landlord in your unit at all? Like going through anything? Like this is just so, I need more details. Are you guys friends? Are people like, do people's landlord just come over and hang out in their place? Like I'm confused. Years ago, my landlord said he wanted to do some work to the bathroom and I thought, great, I'm off on holiday for 2 weeks. So I told him go ahead, but to have it done by the time I got back. Fast forward 2 weeks to when I returned jet lagged, smelly and exhausted from the international economy flights to find the entire bathroom ripped out. Like not even a tile on the wall. When I called the landlord, he did not pick up and he left no note, no email, no text to explain. That's brutal. Brutal. Was there a toilet at least and like a sink? Not that it matters. Well, it does matter, but like not the point. Like obviously still a problem, but like, oh my gosh, that is awful. That would suck after a long day of traveling. You're so tired. Our apartment had a boiler furnace that heated our 4-unit apartment building. We couldn't adjust the heat ourselves aside from opening or closing the vents. Our first winter in that apartment was freezing because the boiler was straight up broken. We contacted the landlord. He looked at it and then literally said, there's nothing I can do. It's up to God. So our entire building rallied together and threatened to withhold our rent if he didn't fix the problem. He ended up just reimbursing us for the space heaters we had to buy. So that was the problem solving. You go out of your way to go buy space heaters and I'll give you money for that rather than actually fixing the problem like for a long-term solution, because that is a crappy landlord. People like that don't deserve to be landlords. My landlord broke into my flat, okay, while I was visiting my mom for a week, ate my food, drank my alcohol and smoked my old roommate's cat's catnip thinking it was the marijuana. His wife had left him and kicked him out, so he thought it was okay to just move in by smashing the kitchen window and making himself at home. I think y'all know what I'm about to say. Lawsuit, breaking and entering, trespassing. Like this, there's so many things. Theft, like it just creepy, just overall creepy. Freaking creeps out there, man. At some point, my old buildings management decided to replace the roofs on all the buildings. Great, right? Not for me. For whatever reason, the roofers decided to use the outlet on my back porch for all their tools. I found out and asked them not to use my outlet. They said they were told the apartment was vacant. Anyway, they said it wouldn't happen again. Next day, they had all their stuff plugged into my outlet again. I complained to management, who said they would take care of it. The roofers tore it off and just kept using my power. I went to management again and they just brushed it off. This went on for 2 weeks. The next month, my power bill was over $600. When I contacted management, they said there was nothing they could do and gave me a $25 gift card to Panera. No freaking, I would physically go out there myself every single day and literally unplug it. There's no chance. There's no chance because I know how Hydro works and I know for a freaking fact that would come back on me. I would set up a freaking Ring camera and say that if you use this again, I would have evidence because I'm not paying a $600 bill. All right, y'all, those are some shady landlords. Like I said, I don't think everyone deserves to be a landlord. I'm out of here though. If you guys have a story like this, share it in the comments below. And in the meantime, stay classy and stay sassy. I'm just looking at my lights I put in. They're much brighter now. Ow, did you guys hear that? Ow. Oh, my hair's a little messy. Oh boy, it's just gonna have to do, isn't it? Like, how do girls have messy hair, but somehow it's cute? And then if I try having messy hair, it's like not a cute messy. You know what I'm saying? Have you even subscribed to the channel yet? Don't be a fake fan. Hit that subscribe button. You know you want to.